Hello everyone and welcome back to Python lessons on Codecademy. So today we will be continuing on with the lists and functions section on Codecademy. Um, so what this part of the lesson is trying to tell us is that lists work exactly the same as variables, as in that you can pass them to a function as you would normally pass any other variable such as an integer or a string to a function. So let's move on. Oh, I will just say that I will need to be resetting a few codes because I tried recording this video and it didn't work out so well. So I've already done the solution, but this is fine. So let's see what we need to do. Using an element from a list in a function. So you can use an element in a function from a list like you would normally by using its index. So let's see what we need to do here. We need to change line 2 so that list function, so this function here, returns only the item stored in index 1 of x rather than the entire x list. So index 1, and this is just to show us that it works like a normal list. So let's save and submit, and it prints 5. So let's move on. Modifying an element of a list in a function. You can also modify an element in a list with a function like you would normally outside of a function. So what we need to do here is add 3 to the item at index 1 of the list. So I do need to reset here. That was the solution, by the way. So so we need to add 3 to the item at index of the list. So this is the same as doing this, because this is index 1 and plus 3. This is the same as doing index 1 equals index 1 plus 3, but this is just a shorthand of writing it. And we stored back the result into the index, and we need to return the whole list, not just index 1 of the list. At least that's what it says. So yes, because we added 3 onto the first index, which is the second number or the second value in the list, 5. So 5 plus 3 is 8, so it prints 3, 8, and 7. So let's move on. List manipulation in functions. So we need to define a function called list extender that has one parameter lst. So define function list extender, one parameter lst. Inside the function append the number 9 to lst, so lst to append 9, and then return the modified list. So you can modify a list any way you want with a function, like you can modify any other variable in the function any way you want. So to return lst. Okay. So printing out a list item by item in a function. Um, you can print out all of the elements of a list in a function like you would normally, but instead of doing it like that, you can do it with a function because it can be more efficient, or it can mean that you write a lot less. So define a function called printList that has one argument called x. So printList, define printList and argument x. It wants us to, I think, use this as a scaffold, if I'm correct. Inside that function, print out each element one by one. Use the existing code as a scaffold, yes. So this isn't how I would normally do it, but I will just go with it for the sake of Codecademy because you can't do it any other way. Well, for this solution anyway. So I will explain it after I do it. So we need to change n to x and then call your function with the argument n. So we need to call print list with argument n. Oops, that's caps lock. There we go, 7 submit code. Okay, so now let me explain what this does, and then we'll end off the episode. So when you enter this function called print list, it enters with the argument x, or with the argument that is called x, but we actually enter it with the list n. So for I in range that says that I equals the list, which is 0, 1, 2, because the length of n is 3, and range stops at the number before the last number. So in this case, range 0 through length of x is going to be 0, 1, and 2, because the length of n is 3, and because x is n, it's the same thing. So it makes it so that I, because it's a for loop, I equals 0. So it's going to print x, the index 0 of x, so that's 3 because that's the first value in a list. Then it's going to go again with I, the second value of this list, which is 1, and it's going to print the first index of x, so it's going to print 5 because that's the second value of n. And then it's going to make I equal 2, which is the last value of this list, because this is a list, and it's going to print the second index of x, which is 7, and the third value in n. And then because there are no values left here, it's going to continue on with the code. So thank you for watching this video, and if you have any questions, especially about this, because I know it might be a bit complicated at first, but then you will know what it means after a while of practice, please ask in the comments below. And if you liked the video, please like it. If you didn't like it, dislike it, and please tell me what I can do to improve. And until next time, goodbye.